welcome to the One Soccer Nation podcast. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Marlo Sweatman. Marlo is currently a football player playing in Hungary for Victoria Halados, and we know Marlo just from playing with the Jamaican National Team in the last recent years, and we're just so excited to have her on this podcast today.
Yeah, Marlo, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. We're so excited to hear your journey and just hear your story to motivate other aspiring young players. How are you and how are you feeling today?
First off, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited to be here. I'm doing well, thanks. I just got home from training, so we're going towards the end of our season, so just hanging in there and getting out the last few matches.
That's great. That's great that you're coming to an end of your season. I know you're kind of like happy just, so you can finally just calm and chill and just, see your family and stuff. But could you start off by just telling us like what age you started playing and why did you choose to start playing soccer?
Yeah, I started playing when I was about like 5 or 6, and my dad used to play soccer, so I think through him he just kind of put me in the sport, and then ended up actually being quite good at it. So I stayed playing throughout actually my whole life. But I also played basketball next to soccer, did lacrosse for a bit, ran track, so kind of did all the sports. But throughout the years, soccer was really what stuck around. So.
Oh, I didn't know that you played basketball. What position did you?
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, I played basketball all the way up to my senior year in high school, and then obviously when it came to the point of like thinking about soccer in college or basketball, I decided to go with soccer.
Oh, wow. Well, what position did you play in basketball?
I think it was the 4. I don't even remember. It was so long ago.
Oh yeah, that was long ago.
Yeah.
That is so funny. But
yeah.
That's cool that you kind of got a little taste of every little sport. I feel like that's good to have, like at a young age.
Yeah, I think it actually helps a lot, like just with the overall development of like athleticism and things. And since I've been abroad to Europe for so long, I feel like that's what really sets apart like American players.
Yeah.
They're so athletic.
Yeah.
A lot of sports.
That's
Yeah, no, I agree.
I agree. So, can you kind of just dive into like your college recruiting process and why you chose to commit to Florida State and then University of Oregon?
Yeah. So I remember sitting down with my club coaches, and they kind of made me make a list of, the things that I want in an environment for soccer and for school. They really made an emphasis on how important education was. So for me, the most important was to play at the like highest division I possibly could, and thankfully I was able to play at the top school, Florida State. So I remember going to my visits and all that stuff. I went to the University of Florida as well, so between University of Florida and Florida State. And so everything went well on the visits, and I really liked the program, so I decided to commit to Florida State. And I took my freshman year there. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way I would have liked it, but I did learn a lot from the time I was there, and then decided a different program, which was the University of Oregon, would be a lot better for me. I think at that point in my career, it was important for me to be a part of a team that I was more than maybe just another player type thing. I know a lot of people probably understand that feeling of freshman, sophomore year, not really getting a lot of minutes. But I decided that I wanted to be in a program where I can make an impact as a sophomore, and then kind of go that way. So University of Oregon did a really nice job of making me feel included. And by the time I was a senior, I was able to be a captain. So I felt like that was a good choice for me.
So
nice.
I know that is really nice, but like, what did you like really love about Oregon, like being there your last few years of college? Like, what did you really love about it?
Oh, that's a good question. Oregon was amazing. I've never been to the West Coast before that, so I definitely felt like there is a difference between West and East Coast, just like people-wise and outside of soccer. But as far as the soccer program, they were just so involved and so like it was so important to them, the whole family part and having like the pillars of the team. So not just the results, but really like what is Oregon soccer and how to break that down to the point where they really recruited to find people who fit into what they used to call the pillars.
Yeah.
So that was really cool for me. That kind of, I think, really showed me how important the off the field is for soccer.
Well, you talked about like being on the West Coast, like for your first time. Was there like a major difference from Florida State or not really?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like, so I grew up in Virginia.
Yeah.
And then so I was always kind of around big cities. And even now my family's like in South Florida, and then just going over to like the West Coast where it's all just like nature
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so new to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm more of a big city type person. But I mean, I think you guys know too, like college, university campuses, it's like its own little world in a
Mhm.
way. So
Yeah.
what really goes on outside of the campus doesn't matter so much.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, just the small things, like instead of going to Miami for spring break, they would go to like camping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
So
it
cool.
was different, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Going like on like camping trips. I never even thought about like
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
yeah,
never been camping
that's
before.
very different. That is very different. Wow.
Yeah.
So, just from transitioning from US to playing in different European professional leagues, um, how do you feel like the transition was for you? Like, what major adjustments did you have to face, just like in playing styles or off the field aspects?
Um, so when I started playing pro over in Europe was about 7 years ago. So I think it was quite new for players to go abroad. So there wasn't really much like assistance in a way of, okay, how do we go about this? Do I need an agent? How do I get contacts? The whole visa process, payments, all that stuff, like it was all pretty, yeah, like pretty new, I would say, to like a lot of people. So there was some hard moments of like finding reliable agents and stuff like that. And my first contract abroad was in Sweden, but it felt like a few steps back from university soccer. Um, so that was a whole interesting experience in itself. But um, yeah, I think just like it's kind of what we spoke about before as well, the athleticism.
Mm.
I feel like European players, they're much more like toned in on the whole tactical and technical side of the game. And then when you have like American players mixed in, you just see the speed difference, the strength difference,
Yeah.
even the mental side. I
Yeah.
feel like America really, it's really important to them also, like the mental side of the game.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Just like being in Europe is more technical, more like
Mhm.
technical focused, and like compared to like being in the US, it's more like physicality and speed and all that. So I could definitely like relate to that part that you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like being in like the States, they focus so much on lifting, making sure you're in shape. But then when you go to like Europe, I feel like it's more like making sure you're technical, you
Yeah.
understand your role more, like your role
Exactly.
on the field. So it's definitely like a different like it's a different like different environment on what's more important like on and off the field. So
Yeah. I've had this conversation recently with a few coaches who coach on the men's side over in Europe, and they like ban players from the weight room actually, which is interesting because I feel like in America, like you just said, America, they like push you to be in the weight room and the strength
yeah.
side of it. So
Yeah. I feel like in Europe, I think they feel like being in the weight room makes you like slower, I guess.
yeah, I do think
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Because honestly, I feel like just like for the kind of lifts that we start like we don't do like a lot of heavy lifting.
Mhm.
Also because it's like once a week, we do more like just like not like strengthening, but like injury kind of prevention type stuff
Yeah,
and like speed and power type stuff
yeah.
compared to
Rather than
yeah,
yeah,
in US where you're just heavy lifting 3 times a week or something. So, yeah, it's definitely very, like, different,
yeah,
yeah, I would say.
Yeah, I've noticed like being in Denmark, like our fitness coach, he has um his own gym, and then he kind of gives us a program. So like I feel like
being in Denmark, I've been able to lift like heavy, like do a lot of like power exercises. So I feel like it's been a lot different from when I was in France when we were just literally doing upper body and one leg day a week. But I feel like in Denmark, like I feel like I'm back in the States where like we can actually do like um real lifts like for our legs instead of just doing upper body all the time. So I've kind of been enjoying it because his programs are really good and I feel like I've gotten stronger, like even in just like the little muscles. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I really like it.
Yeah, I guess it's important, like, for everyone to have their own type of program that works for them. Because like, when I
Mm,
lift heavy, I feel so slow on the field, but when
mm,
like, an individual strength coach who, like you said, like, kind of fine-tune the small muscles or activate,
yeah,
like, a lot better.
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
I do. I feel like you feel just a lot better playing. Yeah, you don't feel as heavy and like heavy legs or whatever. But yeah, I agree. I
I
definitely.
also like, this is kind of off topic, but I don't know if you guys felt it, I also felt like the food here, the moment I, like, step foot in Europe, I just feel like I kinda, like, fresher and lose
oh
weight
my
in a
god,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Everything
think
That's what
that's
it
something.
hot
is.
pressure. Yeah, the
I
food is
think they don't have like additives and stuff in the food. I think it's actually like all natural ingredients.
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
like the food ingredients that are in like U.S. or Canada. Like they're banned from Europe. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you're definitely gonna feel a lot more lighter on your feet. And we also changed our diet too, so that also I don't know, I guess that also plays a role in us feeling like just more lighter and fresher with the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. But just going into what you were talking about the food was there any other like cultural or like lifestyle differences that you noticed compared to like the US and Europe or Europe versus US? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Food and like lifting and that stuff being the main ones, but some things that I've recently noticed um off the field is I feel like Europeans may or maybe this could just be like a family thing or whatever, but I feel like Europeans are more laid back in a way.
Mhm.
Like when it comes to sports here, like for example, we're connected to an academy team and like parents aren't allowed to watch trainings. And where I feel like in America, like parents are there, like
Yeah.
watching every movement and
Yeah.
stuff. And then also, I remember when I first went to Sweden, like we would have a game and then everybody would like go out drinking after together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just like more relaxed. And it's like, okay, when it's time to play, it's time to play. And then when it's time to like go out, they like go out.
They go
Yeah.
out, yeah.
And of course, you had that in college and stuff. But I feel like there was more of the whole dry season and kind of the strictness behind it. So just that's also kind of interesting to me, that part. Um, yeah, I would say that's probably the off the field side of it. But then obviously like on the field, like what we just spoke about, the tactical, technical side of everything. And yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. Like they're a little bit more laid back. Like after soccer, it's more like let's like be together and let's hang out. Because after every game or after every home game, our team we all go to this same restaurant. We just sit and chill.
Mhm.
Some people drink, some people just eat, and yeah, it's just like a very like family like outside of the outside of the sport. And I do like that. It's like it's nice because you can get to know
Yeah.
everyone and everything else too. So yeah.
Yeah, so you said that you've been playing professional for 7 years. What would you say is like has been your favorite country you've like lived in or played in so far?
Hmm. Sweden was nice as far as I was there for the summer and just for a few months. So that was like a nice kind of new environment. And I loved Holland. Just overall Holland, like their culture, their lifestyle, and the league was pretty good. Um, but weirdly enough, like I really love Hungary. And I know a lot of like foreigners that have come here have had some difficult experiences, but I guess I've just gotten lucky to have had like really good experiences here. And my fiance, he's Hungarian, so I've also been able to like learn the language and the culture, and that's probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, right now I'd probably say Hungary for sure.
Hungry?
You know
Well,
what's funny? My name is actually Hungarian.
Is it really?
Yeah, Malika
Oh,
is
cool.
apparently Hungarian. So
I
that's
learned here that like, so if you have a kid and it's gonna live, or he or she is gonna live in Hungary, you have to like give it a Hungarian name, and there's a list.
Oh wow.
Anything that's not on the list, like it can't be named that.
Oh
I think is interesting. And then they have like birthdays and they have name days. And so your name day is, for example, let's just say Petra is a name,
yeah.
and there's probably like 6,000 Petras here, so they all have a name day. And it's like a little birthday for their name, and it's all.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
what kind of like you talked about how the food is really fresh. Like what kind of food is like well known in Hungary? I'm just very curious.
Yeah.
you have the goulash. Probably you've heard of that. I don't know.
I've heard of the name.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know what it looks like though.
I'm still confused to what it is to this day, because if you say goulash in America, they think of like a soup type thing, meaty soup, but I guess it's actually like meat on top of this little like noodle type thing. So I don't know which one is the real one.
oh wow.
Did you like it?
I did. I like the soup kind more.
Oh, okay.
They also have what my favorite food is. It's called Tudis tasta,
Oh.
and that's pasta noodles with sour cream and
Oh
something that looks like cottage cheese. And when I first tried it, I was like, "There's no way! Like, I'm not trying that."
yeah.
And I like love it now.
Oh wow. What did you say it was called? What is it called again?
Tudis tasta.
Tudish tasta.
Yeah.
I say it? Did I say it?
Yeah.
What are they known for in Hungary? Like, you know how France is known for the croissants? What's like Hungary known for?
Probably the goulash, I would
The
say.
goulash. Oh, okay.
Obviously now, like, Soboslai is a really big soccer player, like playing over in Liverpool. Like he's huge now, so the country's gotten pretty big on that as far as the football side of the country. But culturally, definitely that, and also paprika, like
Oh,
Oh, oh, paprika chicken. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
okay. So you said that you love Hungary a lot. Like, do you have like, would you like for a professional athlete looking to play in Hungary? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I would say definitely you have to know yourself and what's going to be the best for you. For example, like Hungary is not the easiest place I would say to adapt to. So if you're looking to just come and like win a title, you're going to have to like, obviously this is everywhere, but like pick a team that's going to kind of have the same mindset, because I feel like here, I don't know, maybe in other countries, like everybody wants to win a title, like win a championship, win the cup, all that stuff. But I feel like in this league, there's different brackets for clubs. And like one club doesn't even have really the desire to do that. They rather have the desire to grow younger players.
Okay.
Wow.
They're not really looking to compete with the top teams.
Okay.
And that's totally fine for them. But if you come in with that mindset that I want to play in Champions League, all that stuff, and you're in a club that doesn't have that mindset, it's going to be like really hard, I feel like. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's a few clubs that just like try to survive in the league.
Mhm.
There's a few clubs that want to like prepare younger players and then maybe like sell them later on. And then there's a few clubs that are like, okay, we want to win the season. So that, and then also within that, if you're more of a person that needs to have like good friends around you and like foreigners, probably go to a club that has some foreigners, because
Yeah.
there's that come here and it's a bit difficult to adjust. But I'd probably say it's all throughout Europe.
Yeah, that's true. Cause like even
Yeah.
on my team, like I'm the only foreigner, and like in the beginning, it was kind of tough just because like for me, like I speak a little French, but my speaking isn't as well as my understanding of French, so that kind of was like a little difficult for me, just being in an environment where everyone is speaking French, and like some big
Yeah.
groups it'll be kind of hard, but like one on one I'll be fine. But yeah, it's been like getting better. So it just takes everything just takes time. You're in a whole new
Yeah.
environment, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my environment's a bit different. We kind of have like quite a few, like almost half the team. We have internationals. We have some from like Canada, no, not the U.S. anymore, the Netherlands, and from Spain. And just having them around, it's a lot easier for me because like the Danish girls are all nice, but I feel like culturally there's like a little bit of disconnect. So like sometimes like you could see the separation between the two,
Yeah.
like if you were to see our team at practice, but just having the internationals honestly helped me like integrate a lot easier. So yeah, I definitely could see why, when you're looking at teams, seeing if they have internationals, it does help with the transition of like integrating into the team. So
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true. But just like going back to what I was saying, but even like if there's no international, it does challenge you, to get better at the language of
Mhm.
the country that you're currently in. Kind of just challenges you more to want to get better because you have no choice. You literally have no choice. So, but
Yeah.
I can look at it
That's
that
true.
way, yeah,
I don't know if you guys felt this either, but um so I've been here for a while, and then I felt so alone at some point. Like you're with everybody, but you're also alone.
yeah, yeah,
Then when I went back to the States, it was like for me like over I was overwhelmed.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I could understand everybody, like the language, it just felt louder because here is like quite pretty
right,
quiet,
yeah,
and then like being around family and everything. Whereas here, like I'm around people, but I'm sometimes not even like socializing because I'm just kind of
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I
That's
had
Yeah, that's
to,
me.
yeah,
as well. That's me as well. Cause like I feel like outside of soccer, I'm not really doing anything, and I'm like 90% of the time alone, or me and my teammate that we live in the same building will hang out and do little things sometimes. But yeah, most of the time you're pretty much alone, and then going back home where you're like, with your family, it's just so and there's so much like so much more going on. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
It is a little overwhelming, but it's just like so funny, like the cultural like differences or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that's cool to I mean, it's something
Yeah.
to think about, I guess, yeah. But yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know
but
that.
even for me, I've gotten close with my roommate. She's from Spain, and she's been here for like she's been in Denmark for 2 years, and she so happened to meet like a group of like Spanish people. So like anytime they're having like events or whatever, she'll bring me, and like it's just nice to see it's just nice to be around people, like, you're comfortable with, because like,
yeah,
even yesterday, they had, like, a whole, barbecue, then they brought it back into their apartment, and we were playing games and stuff. So, just,
oh,
like, just seeing how, like, cute their, like, relationship is, I was like, "Oh, I miss that," like,
yeah,
again, from back home.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's nice.
that's
It's
so
just nice to just experience that again.
yeah. I can imagine. Even if
Yeah.
I see people's stories from back home, like if they're on these like bridesmaid parties or stuff like that, like I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
guys are doing it right now. I'm like, oh, like I kind of miss a group of friends that you just
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I definitely do agree with that. But yeah, but this is where like FaceTime comes in
yeah,
handy.
that's true.
Like on FaceTime with your friends. Like that's really what I'm always doing. I'm on FaceTime or watching like a show on Netflix or just like working on stuff for our business. Like you just have to keep like kind of busy, I guess. You have to
Yeah,
keep busy, yeah. That's
it
what
does force you to like to do things that you probably would never have done, as far as
yeah,
like start your
Yeah.
own business or start journaling or all these things.
yeah,
So
yeah. I've been doing the journaling stuff too more. That's
yeah.
kind of like takes time. And also like me and my teammate, we went golfing. I've never been golfing before, and that was really fun.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
yeah, it was really cool. But I actually wasn't too bad either. I was like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. So yeah, that was fun.
What do you do in your free time, Marlo?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. I spend a lot of time at cafes. So there's
Oh,
probably like
yeah.
5 or 6 in my city, and I to the point where, like, everybody knows my order, which is
Oh
super
my
cool.
god.
Like, I just, like, walk in and they just bring me, like, my order, and I
Yeah.
go every day, so I do that.
Oh, oh, that's
Yeah, and I, like, journal a lot there, or I'm starting a mentor program, which is
Oh.
cool. Yeah, I actually specifically for the transition between college to professional. I
Oh,
yeah.
that's
yeah,
cool.
Love
a
that.
European professional, um, like connecting to agents and things like that. Last year in October to December, I did my UEFA diploma for scouting.
Mhm.
Really cool. So that was interested in for that took a lot of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, things like that.
Oh, that's
Aw.
so cool. I love that you're starting that program. I feel like that like so many people could be like benefit from something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's cool
I
too.
just feel like there's a big, like, so many people are not in a bad way, but like lost between, okay, what do I do if I didn't get drafted and I want to play abroad? You know,
Yeah.
who do
Yeah,
I contact? Where is good and things like that.
yeah.
So
It would
That would be
make a lot
so
of
helpful.
yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
You talked about the UFA Elite Scout program. Could you like go into more depth, like what it was about and how that kind of like impacted like you as a player or you as a scout?
Yeah. So I was at one of those moments in my life and like career. I was like, okay, I'm training every day and soccer's kind of staying the same, but I'm missing that whole like growing as a person feeling. And so I started looking at like master programs or going back to school and stuff like that. And whereas it would probably be a little bit too hard to do a master's program abroad, I ended up speaking with the boss of the UEFA Academy, which is it's also specifically for like players who are want to prepare themselves for the transition after playing pro.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to him for a bit, and there was a few different courses like agent, manager, stuff like that. But the scouting part really kind of stuck out to me.
Mhm.
So that was really cool because I feel like in women's soccer there aren't many scouts.
Mhm.
Like you kind of just link up with the agent, and then you get a club, or you have a video analysis for the team. But whereas the men's side, like scouting is a huge part of the game. So I was in the course for 3 months, and we went to different countries, and there we had like courses, and then we had some online classes as well. So I learned kind of scouting, and the scouts that were there, I was the only one that wasn't a current scout. I was still a player, but learning from them was like amazing.
Yeah.
So and just making the connections and network and kind of getting a glimpse of life after football, still being in football was like really, really helpful for
Yeah.
me.
That's cool because like I feel like there's a lot of footballers out there that don't necessarily know what they want to do. Like
Yeah.
outside of soccer, like I'm one of those people. I still don't know like what exactly I want to do, but like I feel like you have so much time, so just you can start. Like it's never too late to start planning, start thinking about like what you want to do and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool to hear about because
Thanks.
I never even knew about like a scout. I never even knew that
Yeah.
thing, but that's really cool to hear about.
Yeah. So pretty much how it would work later on is like you're connected to a club. So let's just say PSG. Like if you're a PSG scout, then like you can work for them, you can live in different countries, and you just kind of say, I'm working for them, but living in Hungary. Then I kind of just keep an eye on the players here that could potentially one day have potential to go there or something like that.
Um,
Oh, that is really
So
yeah.
did someone introduce you to the program, or you kind of just came across it?
I went to a football conference in Budapest
Oh,
a year before, and I didn't know like what was to go. And so over there, I saw something about coaching courses, and I was like, okay, well maybe I should get my coaching license. Um, and through the coaching license, I somehow found another link to the UEFA Academy. So I found my way there. But it all started from kind of stepping out and going to that conference and seeing what are the possibilities. But yeah,
oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
That is
yeah,
really
It's crazy how like certain things can like direct you to like other things that you could be interested in, like how you kind of found the scouting program from just going to a soccer conference.
yeah.
Oh,
It was
cool.
actually it was really interesting because I remember I came home and I came home from the conference and I was so like sad. I was like, well,
Oh,
cool.
like, I didn't make any connections, like, I still have
yeah.
no idea where I'm gonna go, but, like, 2 months later down the road, I saw how that, like, kinda sparked my interest into looking at more and more and then found my way, but you're right, it's interesting how sometimes, like, little things like that make such a big difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because you kind of, I feel like even going to that conference, it's kind of like, because you don't know anyone. So it's like kind of like nerve wracking, but at least you went, you know?
Yeah, wait, no.
Yeah.
I was so nervous going to that conference because one of those where you have to dress up nice and, like, everybody already knows everybody, and I'm just like and it's mainly majority, like, male.
oh,
So
okay.
there's, like,
Yeah.
3 women there, and I remember there was 3 floors, it was inside the stadium, and it was on the 2nd floor, and I went into the elevator, the doors open, and like everybody's there, like just socializing. And I'm like, no, like I'm not doing this anymore. So I like closed the door and I went to the third floor and I just sat there alone for like 20 minutes by the bathroom. I was like, I can't go. Like I'm too nervous. Like I can't
Yeah.
do it. So it was so like nerve wracking. But then finally I like kind of built up the courage to okay, go back down and kind of just put myself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 500 people. And they're all established in the football world. So going to one of those is a bit nerve wracking.
But
Yeah. No,
that just kind of shows like the importance of like kind of putting yourself out there, because imagine you like didn't, like maybe
Yeah.
where you are now, like planning to do like the mentorship program and stuff. So I feel like
Yeah.
that's really cool to hear that you did that and things are like kind of working out in your favor. So yeah,
yeah. It was all worth it in the
that
end.
was worth it. It was all worth
Yeah.
it. Well, kind of just going back to your professional background. So you played on the Jamaican National Team, like U-20s. You played in the FIFA World Cup and the Gold Cup Qualifiers. Um, just first going back to Jamaican National Team, like the U-20s. You were the former captain and starter. How did that kind of leadership kind of like shape you as a player on the field?
It definitely shaped me in a big way, I would say, because so yeah, I mean, I was 18, I think, when I was on the U-20 team, and I think I was in my senior year, so having that huge transition as well to college. But I'm sure a lot of people felt it on their first time playing for an international country where they're half Jamaican, half another country, so they never lived there, and that's also like a big change. So going into a national team where you are that nationality but never really lived there, so kind of feeling that connect
Yeah,
or disconnect, if you could say it that way too. So being presented an opportunity to be a captain was like really honorable to me, I would say, like really respected
yeah,
and really appreciated. But it just kind of taught me the first way of the importance of leadership, but then also to look into myself and really for me to also believe in myself that I am or I can be a leader in situations. So that I would say kind of helped more on the whole self-confidence side,
yeah.
um, in myself,
Do you?
especially going into college.
Sorry.
No worries.
Do you feel like you were always like a natural born leader, or you kind of just grew into that role?
I think that's a good question. I would probably say natural born leader because I'm not the vocal type. Like I'm more a leader
Mm,
by example.
yeah.
Um, every time I've been a captain, it's always been kind of reassured to me where the coach has said, you don't have to change. You don't have to feel like you have to become vocal. Just lead by
Mm.
how you actually are as a example. So
Yeah, I can relate to that. I feel like because I've always been like a center back, people always said that they looked up to me in a way, and I was just like, what? And like I don't find myself to be a very vocal person, but I kind of found myself just based off like how I play and just being in a center back role. You kind of have to demand people what they can and what they cannot do, like on the field. And so I kind of found myself like growing into one kind of in a way, but I never ever wanted to be like appointed like, oh, you're the captain. I don't know. I always felt that was just too much pressure, but yeah, I don't really feel like I grew into that role, but I don't think I ever want to be it like a captain. I don't
that's
know. I think it's too
interesting
necessary. Yeah.
because I feel like I totally see what you mean when people say they look at you in that way because I also look at you in that way.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you would never feel the need to be like a pointer, like that's too much pressure, or you don't really feel
Yeah.
it. Oh wow.
Yeah. No, too much pressure. I feel like I don't know. I don't like. I feel like as a captain, you have to be. I don't know. I can't see myself in that role. Like being like I don't know. Maybe it's just me being nervous or insecure about being in that role, but I don't know. It's
I
gonna take some time.
think it just over.
Let me not say never. Yeah, let me not say never,
Right.
but
Next camp.
I think it just overthinking it. Like even Marlo said, like she's not the outspoken one. She's not really
yeah,
outspoken, but she like leads by example. So you can literally do the same thing.
true. But I feel like when you're a captain, you have to like speak like there's a lot of public speaking, and I think that's my fear. I don't know.
I can get that. For me, it's not public speaking is not bad, but like the whole team talks,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
energy. I'm not the best person to like an actor. Like we need energy now and like to like
yeah.
that. More just like
Chill.
yeah, in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, on my team, the captain, she always, like, motivates the team before the game. Me doing that? Oh, no. I I would just think about it too hard and probably mess up what I'm saying, but,
But then
I
in
don't
like
know if I
that
can.
situation, like for example, what I would give that responsibility to somebody else to also make them feel
Mhm.
included.
Oh,
I'd be like,
true.
Oh,
like
okay.
you're a natural motivator. You do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it. You
that's
don't
true,
necessarily have to be that person because you're the captain. You don't necessarily have to.
true.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
Like
good
I could
point.
not see myself doing that either. Like before a game, like come on, let's go. Like only
yeah.
if I'm really mad, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, like, if we're, like, tired and we need to, like if I'm into the game, okay, maybe it'll come out,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
But then do you find yourself like your playing style also super like relaxed?
Yeah, yeah. Like, you mean, like, on the field?
Yeah. Like would you like run through somebody or
Oh,
are you kind of like chilling?
She's running through.
I'm probably
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
He's running through.
You have it in you. You just got to bring it out somehow.
Yeah, I need to bring it out.
Yeah. Because like I'm
Oh,
not running through anybody. I'm just kind of like chilling
Yeah.
type.
You're saying. That's your.
yeah, no.
I feel
Yeah.
No,
like
if I'm mad, I'm killing somebody. On the field.
it depends. You just have to bring it out of you. You know, like it's
Yeah.
on like what like your mind is at that moment. Like, are you like just calm, relax, or are you like let's go, or something? You know,
Oh,
I guess it just depends.
yeah. 'Cause, like, I can be, like, really aggressive, but I'm still very quiet. Like, I don't know. It's kinda weird.
That's interesting. Because like no
Yeah.
matter how mad I get, I can't picture myself just like being like a ticking time bomb and just exploding. Like
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah,
still
no.
Yeah, I see you guys.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
just going back to the Jamaican national team, you've represented them on a global stage. Can you kind of just go in what it was like playing in the World Cup?
the World Cup was super cool. That was an amazing experience, and also leading up to it. But it was always my dream to play in a World Cup. So then to finally be there was like amazing, and I kind of just took it as one of those just being in the moment and really kind of enjoying it all. But yeah, I think the first World Cup that we qualified for, the goal was kind of just to be there and to enjoy the history that was made. And then I thought it was cool to see that the coaching staff for the second World Cup, they made it like obvious, and that was a goal that they don't just want to be there like we were the last time, but really to make a statement and to get out of the group stage and stuff like that. So for me, it was really cool to have been at the first one and then just kind of enjoy the moments and play against amazing top teams like Brazil and Australia and Italy. Um, that itself was just unreal. So
Yeah, I feel like that is such like an amazing just accomplishment to even just have in your resume. Like, yeah, I played in a World Cup. Like, I feel like every player wants to have like say that or wants to experience that. So I feel like
yeah.
that's really great too. Um, and you've also played in like numerous countries. So playing for Jamaica, you play in different countries and just traveling to so many different countries. Like, do you have a country that was most memorable to you, or like your favorite that you visited?
I would say South Korea was like the most, I don't know how to say it, like not most random, but most like I would say different place that I've been. Not to say that it was my favorite, it was just probably the most different. But then I don't know. Chile was pretty cool this last. I think I would say Chile when we just went. because being here in Hungary and Europe and then going over there and just seeing the difference in culture and how open they were and inviting, that was really refreshing. So
Yeah.
I agree. I like Chile. Yeah. Chile was cool. I just feel like I didn't expect Chile to look like what it looked like. I don't know.
exactly.
Like the city, like I didn't expect it to look like that. But it was
No,
like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, it was
And the
like,
food was amazing.
yeah, yeah. The food
Oh,
was.
the food was good. I missed it. I missed it, man.
Oh yeah,
I
you
missed
were there.
Jared.
Cut you out.
Yeah.
Right, you were there. Sorry, but yeah, the food
No,
was.
it's okay.
It was, and
Yeah.
they kind of catered to my vegetarian diet. So can't complain. Can't complain. Oh, that's so funny.
I
Uh,
guess I went out one night, I have an agent who he lives there and his family kind of took me out and kind of showed me around. So we went to a really
Aw.
nice restaurant and kind of had like the actual Chilean experience, if you want to
Oh
say it.
wow.
So
Yeah.
I more meant like that, which was really cool. Um, so yeah, the hotel food was fine. I mean,
Yeah.
there was some. It's always like that. I feel like there's
Yeah.
always something. But
It's like
when I
something.
get out, it's cool.
Yeah. But that's nice that you got to go outside. Because I remember like when
Yeah.
we were just walking around trying to find like I forgot what we were looking for, but we are just kind of walking, and then we went into like it was like a bakery or something, and they had like the
Yeah,
chocolates and stuff. Like that was
yeah,
kind of cool to see, like just their like signature desserts and stuff. Like that was cool.
yeah.
Did you guys try it? The dessert?
Yeah, she gave us something. I don't remember what it was.
For
He gave
free?
us, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's like a
And I
little.
think it was something like that that was super cool. Like she just kind of went out her way to give us our own each.
Yeah.
It was like that little.
Oh.
I don't know. I think they have it in France too, like the little wafer straw and then filled with chocolate type thing.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that
exactly
thing,
what it
that
was.
thing.
Yeah.
Something starts with a P. I don't know. Well,
But it
yeah,
was good. It was good. Yeah. And
it was.
it was like nice because I feel like not a lot of like people do that, so it's like kind of
Yeah,
nice. And she knew we were like tourists and stuff too, so tourists,
yeah,
foreigners, but yeah. So that was really cool to experience. Like, wow, she actually like gave it to us for free. Didn't like really ask, not knowing if we were gonna actually buy anything. So that's
yeah.
nice. Um, so just as a professional athlete, like, do you have any advice that you would give to aspiring athletes who want to play professionally?
Yeah, probably the whole part of the game that like I feel like a lot of people have a lot of their own timeline,
Mm.
and then they see where they wanna go, and then sometimes they can get discouraged when they're not there on time, or they take a little setback, or it's not how they imagined. Probably to, like, keep strong and keep going, and eventually you're gonna make your goal,
Mm.
if you put the time in and you keep the goal. So not to be, I guess, discouraged when the hard parts come along.
Yeah, I agree with that because you can face like injuries or maybe you didn't get called up to the national team or you didn't get like a contract for the window that you wanted to. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of things that you could face. You just have to learn to kind of overcome them and just kind of stay focused, stay motivated, and yeah, so I think that's a good point too. Yeah. And is there any like goals that you have that you want to um, complete after, or not after, but throughout your professional career?
Yeah, I've still so the whole national team, like, I would say I've reached that goal of playing in the World Cup. That was always my World Cup or that was always my goal, sorry, the World Cup. But on my professional career, I still feel like I'm not there yet.
Mhm.
Like, there's more in me than Hungary,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or there's more in me than the club I'm at in Hungary.
Yeah.
Uh, but definitely the whole professional side, there is a little bit of me that I'm not ready for me to say, "Okay, that was enough."
Hmm. Is there like a country that you really want to play in? Like your dream team or your dream country you want to play in?
Yeah.
Um, not really. I don't know. I always had a desire to go to Asia, but
Oh,
then after South Korea, not really anymore. Like that a week was enough for me.
yeah.
And in a nice way.
Yeah.
It's just too different.
Yeah, it's very good. That's a very like different. That's a culture shock. Like seriously, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
so I would say like I've kind of not conquered Europe, but I've done it. So see what other places there are out there.
Would you play in the U.S.?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
I feel like the U.S. is the league is definitely growing too. So yeah, like
They're investing a lot.
yeah, they are. And like also for me, like I really like one of my goals. I really want to play in England.
Okay.
I love watching the league. Like I just feel like the soccer is just it's so like fun to watch, and the players are just so talented. So I feel like just being in that environment would be really cool too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I feel like the U.S. and England, when you watch a game, you're like, okay, like that's professional women's soccer.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm like, okay, like I made it. I can be satisfied.
Yeah, and I also feel like it'll be like I don't know, just be like wow, like if like when you read like when you get there and you're like wow, I can actually play with like these type of players, like the players playing at the highest level. Like I feel like that would be like such a great accomplishment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So, um, thank you, Marlo, for being on our podcast today, or the One Soccer Nation podcast. Thank you for taking the time to just share your journey, and we're just so thankful that you could be with us and be here with us and just share your journey. So, thank you so much.
Thanks
Thanks,
for having me. It
Marlo.
was great.